Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're really getting into the heart of art, the subject. We've got some great notes here to help us unpack what artists actually focus on. You ever look at art and just wonder, okay, what is this actually about?
Mm,
Well, hopefully this deep dive gives you some ways to think about that.
exactly. And the subject, it's really the core idea, the essence of the piece. What's amazing, truly, is the complete freedom artists have. They can choose anything.
Right, so the artist picks something, but whether they spell out what that is or if it even connects with us in a specific way, that's maybe less certain.
Precisely. Sometimes that openness is kind of the point, isn't it? It allows for your own personal connection.
That makes sense.
Yeah, you see artists maybe using symbols everyone kind of gets, archetypes. But then there's art that feels much more spontaneous. Like the subject only really emerges while they're creating it.
Interesting. So how do we as viewers start to even, figure out what the subject is? Our notes suggest asking some questions.
Good idea.
Yeah.
Simple questions, really. Like,
Yeah.
what are you looking at? What's actually depicted? And then, maybe, what do you think the artist is trying to express? Is there a message? And, importantly, how are they doing that? With their techniques and materials.
Okay. Now, it seems like there are two main ways artists approach this subject idea: representational and non-representational. Let's tackle representational first. What's that about?
Representational art is, well, art that shows things we recognize from the world around us. Think trees, apples, people, buildings, things you can point to and name. It's sometimes also called figurative art.
Figurative.
Yeah, especially when it depicts figures,
Yeah.
like human forms and animals. The figure is the key there.
So even if it's not super realistic, like if the colors are maybe wild or the shapes are a bit distorted, but you can still tell it's an apple.
Exactly that. If the link to the real-world object is still there, it's representational. Our sources mentioned Amorsolo planting rice. You clearly see people planting rice. Or Christina Joy's apple blossoms. Again, pretty clear what the subject is, even with her style. Got it. Okay. So that's one side. Now, the other side is non-representational art. This feels different. It is quite different, yeah. Non-representational art, it deliberately moves away from showing recognizable things. It's abstract. The subject isn't an object or a scene you can easily identify.
So what is the subject then, if it's not a thing?
Well, the focus shifts entirely. It becomes about the elements of art themselves. Form, shape, line, color, texture, space, how those are arranged. This is a huge step in art, artists exploring, like, pure feeling or structure.
Okay, so thinking about Kandinsky's composition Sif that's mentioned, we're not supposed to look for, I don't know, a hidden landscape or something.
Probably not. No, with Kandinsky, the subject might be more about the energy, the dynamism, the emotional impact of those colors and lines clashing or flowing together. The meaning becomes much more subjective. It's often about the artist's inner world or maybe trying to evoke a specific mood in you.
Right, less about seeing something specific, more about feeling something.
That's a good way to put it. There's no identifiable thing depicted.
Okay, this is really helpful. So just to kind of wrap things up, the subject in art can be something clear, something we recognize from life that's representational. Or it can be abstract, focused on the art elements themselves, leaving the meaning much more open, that's non-representational.
Exactly. And just knowing that distinction, representational versus non-representational, it gives you a starting point, a way into looking at pretty much any artwork.
A basic framework.
And think about this. If an artist can choose literally anything as their subject, what does that maybe suggest about how you could look at the world? What possibilities does that open up for seeing potential subjects all around you?
That's a great thought to end on. Makes you look differently.